Everybody to run around my street.
Didn't say that loud enough.
That's good from the air.
Oh, okay. If I could ask everyone to silence their cell phones, please. Rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. We have our minutes of our Board of Selectmen public hearing held on May 20th. I have a motion to accept those minutes.
So, second.
All in favor? I'm just gonna oppose anyway.
Trying to make it legal for you.
Right.
No. And then we have minutes of a non-public meeting that was held on May 20th. Can I have a motion to accept those?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. No. Now we have some business to tend to in regards to the Gale School. This is the Community Development Block Grant Project. And what we're going to do is we're going to open a public hearing on the progress of the Gale School renovation CDBG project. And I have to just read a little statement. The Community Development Block Grant funds are available to municipalities through the New Hampshire Community Development Finance Authority. Up to $500,000 annually is available on a competitive basis for public facility projects. Up to $500,000 for housing projects, up to $500,000 for economic development projects, and up to $350,000 annually is available for emergency activities. Up to $25,000 is available per planning study. All projects must preliminary benefit. Yeah, look, I'm getting it. All projects must primarily benefit low and moderate income persons. This public hearing is to update the public on and accept public comment on the progress of the Lakes Region Community Development project for renovating the Gale School, 60 Conklin Street, into a service center. The project was slow to start as costs were higher than expected and additional funds needed to be secured. Originally expected to be a $2 million project, the project cost is $4.5 million. The project is almost complete, with completion expected shortly. A ribbon cutting is scheduled for June 30th, 2026. The Boys and Girls Club expect to start child care operations in mid-July. Lakes Region Community Services is no longer going to locate in the Gale School as they build a facility in Merritt. LRCB is looking for a new tenant for a location that meets the CDBG requirements of serving at least 51% low and moderate income persons. I will open this for any public comment. No public comment? Yes, Woody.
I would just say that after 40 years of effort, we finally got there. So there hasn't been any local tax money spent on it. It's all donations of materials, labor, services, discounts, individual donations, and the funding that LRCD has managed to get. That's been a real struggle, because when we try to get the school moved, ready to go with construction. COVID-19 hit, and inflation not all, was not bad, we had to place,
No, police.
back to Burr Drive. LRCD's been very tenacious, they can't come up with the funding, training company for the workers. This last year, they did a beautiful job, just the ones.
Awesome. Yes, Don.
I'd like to say that I spent a lot of time there and got to know the contractor quite well. And he went to every length to keep it as original looking as possible. He sent old pieces of lumber down to Boston to be, they do what they call knives. It's a routing knife to recreate the old rounds, window trim, baseboard, you name it. And they did a phenomenal job. They really did. So, yeah, I think you'll be really happy when you take a walk through there.
You mentioned 51%. Are we gonna meet that?
Right.
And what happens if we don't?
I can't answer that.
Don only answer that question.
Okay.
No.
So right now, the Boys and Girls Club know their restriction has to be at least 51% low and moderate income, so they'll reserve at least 51% of the slots, so we'll have to. They'll be opening 20 slots. And then the other, with this place being halfway empty right now, waiting for a new tenant, that's the tenant they're looking for, because the tenant that's 51% low and moderate income. Like we should need to both looking for that, I think, different and so that. So we don't have. We do on one floor and the other floor. Not gonna be occupied.
And what happens to cost to the communities if we can know, and are there any stipulations with grants, these expectations are not met?
So. They have to, if worst case scenario, they don't find somebody to go in there in the building itself, and the lien that's on the building. We take this one.
Say it again.
There's a lien on the building for the CDBG funds that are going into it, and if there isn't a tenant that was in that's suitable, either that lien gets repaid and they keep the tenant that's there, it would probably be half of that, because half would be on childcare, non-childcare. So they'd have to pay back 250,000, or they would sell or something with that ever, and they would, the lien would repay. Money won't ever be from the tax. And that's why there was in fact, there. And even if something happens.
No, it's that.
Either. Worst case, they sold and they didn't, there were a bunch of people ahead of the lien, and the lien came up and only had 100,000, they could get you to take that. Because they don't want to fair off. Do that, okay, answer? Yes, thank you.
Any other public comment? Hearing or seeing none, we will close this public hearing, first public hearing. Now we have a second public hearing. We're opening this on the progress of the Gale School Playground CDBG project. This public hearing is to update the public on and accept public comment on the progress of the Boys and Girls Club project of installing playground equipment at the Gale School, 60 Concord Street. This is a grant under the CDBG Economic Development Program and is based on the creation or retention of jobs. BGC originally anticipated creating 6 new jobs at the Gale School, but is now creating 2 jobs while transferring other jobs from a location that recently closed in Concord. Therefore, the scope of the playground CDBG project is reduced to closer to $70,000 from $230,000, and some of the playground and other equipment from the Concord location. The Boys and Girls Club expects to start childcare operations in mid-July. I will open for any public comments.
Can you go over the numbers again? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear it. You said reduced. So they reduced from 6 employees down to 2 and then
Okay,
the
well,
funds.
just 1 second. Yes, 6 new, BGC originally anticipated creating 6 new jobs at the Gale School, but is now creating 2 jobs while transferring other jobs from a location that recently closed in Concord. Therefore, the scope of the playground CDBG project is reduced to closer to $70,000 from $230,000, and some of the playground and other equipment from the Concord location. So it sounds like they're moving some people and equipment from Concord to this location.
So reduced from 2 something down to 70.
Yes.
Because they're not creating, they're only creating 2 jobs now, they're offering that because they're shutting down their location in Concord and they didn't want to lose people, that offering them to come up here. And of course, we want to put them up, so they can't get that grant based on creating jobs when they're really just transferring jobs. So they are creating 2, but they're bringing up some stuff from down at that location too, so that the
Offsetting.
scope has been reduced considerably, but they are bringing some other stuff in. That's another CDBG. There was one CDBG for the building. That was called public facilities. That was 500,000. And then this was economic development based on operation, and that was 230-ish. And now it's gonna be more like 7. Can I just say one thing? There are handouts available. I don't have to say that. I didn't put it in, sorry.
All right. Any other public comments?
I would just reiterate that this is not a town Belmont grant at all.
No, we're really not. All we are is kind of a through, which is kind of our requirement for any grant. We have to sign, we have to vote in favor of it, but it's passed through. We don't deal with any of the money. We deal with none of the responsibility of the building or that type of
I
thing.
may in this particular grant, but I've dealt with grants and there's a lot of times you are responsible.
Oh, definitely, but not with this particular one. There's definitely other grants that we're always applying for grants, but not this particular one.
Understood.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, we'll close this public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have one other public hearing in the public hearing department tonight. Okay, in accordance with RSA 31:95-B to accept unanticipated revenue from the USDA Rural Development for Community-Directed Spending Community Facilities Grant in the amount of $73,000 for the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe and associated upfit costs to be used by the Belmont Police Department. Do I ask for explanation?
You can have public comments and.
Well, okay, all right, I'll ask for public comment. Okay, we'll close this, but, Steve, can I just have a little bit of an explanation for this?
Sure.
please? Thank you.
So Captain Belanger had put in for a grant to try to help offset our budget with replacing cruisers. And we were able to get this grant to do that. It's $73,000. That goes towards the vehicle and part of the outfit for it. So keep it all taxpayers. So the lights, sirens, that type of thing, lottery.
That's gonna be your vehicle,
It's not in my mix.
so it'll be parked at the police station until such time you need a community vehicle.
No, so Captain Belanger, it's gonna be assigned to him.
What's the total cost for that, just so?
I believe our share is 23,000, so it's 73 plus 23.
Yeah.
Close one.
Is it replacing anything or is it being added to the fleet?
We do have one cruiser that is getting tired, so we're looking at replacing.
What
So,
will happen to that fleet?
well, depending on the value of it, I mean, we can either use it for somebody else in town or we can auction it off. The total outfit is $96,047.59.
And in the past, a lot of times, depending on the condition of them, we've made up very well for auction. Correct, see? We've
Yeah,
done,
and it's an older cruiser, it's a sedan, so it's not tending to get as much money for those as we are with the Crown Vics or the
it should be,
Explorers,
yeah,
you know.
excellent.
It might not be worth selling it, to be honest. It's gonna depend on what the value of it really is.
Oh, I already closed it, didn't I? All right. We are on to new business. Oh, do we need a motion?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, 'cause we have to accept the anticipate, got it. Yeah, I'm ready. Go.
Motion to accept for RSA 31:95-B, unanticipated revenue from the USDA Rural Development for Community Direct Spending, CDS Community Facilities Grant, in the amount of $73,000 for the purchase of a 2025 Chevy Tahoe and associated upfit costs to be used by the Belmont Police Department.
Do I have a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes. We'll move on to new business. Stanton Canine Grant Foundation Grant Acceptance, $32,000.
So we had applied for a grant through the Stanton Foundation for canine. And it was ultimately accepted. And part of the grant, it's the total of it is actually $33,650. That helps to offset the cost of the dog, the cruiser upfit, if there was to be any. In this case, there's not. Veterinary costs, kennels, a vest, training. So the initial training for the officer is about 14 weeks and it pays for the officer's salary during that time. That's just a basic patrol school. They're then sent to another 4 to 5 week school and we can apply to have that as well for the salary to be taken care of. That's on top of the $33,000.
And this is above and beyond the monies that we have set aside for.
Yes. This is not using any of the.
This is not using any of the monies that we already have set aside
Right.
that people have donated and we have received in the past. So, we're gonna use this grant before we tap into monies that we already have set up specifically for a dog. And are we going with a dog? Are we going with a puppy? Are we going with?
So the dog itself will be something that is selected through this program.
Right.
They have a lot of trainers that have knowledge and background to be able to select the proper dogs. The last one we got, he was about 10 months old when we got him, so I'm assuming they'll be around a year old. They'll have some basic obedience, but they'll have to be trained. So.
No different than Vito,
Correct.
basically.
Correct.
All right, awesome. I think a lot of people are very excited that, I mean, not that, well, none of us will ever forget Vito, but
Correct.
again, that
Yeah.
we're going to have that. So,
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So
So we have a motion for that. Would you like to make that one? Sure.
just before you make that motion, today we're doing a motion to accept the grant. And then when we actually get the funds, because it is over this $10,000 threshold, we will hold a public hearing to accept those funds later on. But
Okay.
he needed to get the grant document signed and authorized first.
Okay, yeah, okay, yes.
The motion to accept the Stanton Canine Foundation grant in the amount of $32,000 to be established the canine unit and is intended to cover the costs associated with such a program as set forth in the model budget as presented and vote to designate Chairman Ruth Mooney to sign the grant related documents.
Second, Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. PVE bike update.
Yeah, so, through, this past winter, we purchased two e-bikes. 2 weeks ago, we had two officers go through, the school to be able to be trained on the bikes. They've since been out, on here and over in the Wow Trail, over on the Route 3 side. We've made a couple of arrests out there on them for the homeless, so we're using them. Hopefully you guys will see them out even more after bike through.
Yeah, but bike week.
Yeah,
Yes.
Did you get the okay with the mall to the store over there?
yes, yep. Yep. And one other thing I don't think is on the agenda, but I wanted to bring up, we had gotten a speed board sign through a grant that has now been placed on C Road, and I want to thank Brian and his crew for getting this set up for us. With that speed board, it comes with some data that we can retain to figure out if there's any particular times, if there's speeders or things like that. So we've been hitting that area between, I'm not gonna tell you the times, but no, it's actually between 4:30 and 6 o'clock at night. And we've had a couple occasions where the highest speed was 67 miles an hour going past Wildlife Boulevard.
It'd be like, school's getting on that bad.
So it was so fast that the camera that is in it did not pick up the picture.
Wow.
So we are able to move that sign to different locations because it is solar powered. So that's the hope, is to be able to move it to other parts of town. We gotta have a pretty rugged sign, post to be able to put it up. So it's gonna be selective as to where we can do it. We're gonna work with Brian, but we have 2 or 3 other brackets where we can mount it, so. But we're trying to get the speed down.
I saw this, I dropped my daughter off, it's nice, it's good.
Yeah,
Is it the same sign that was up by the elementary school, or is it different?
it's a little bigger.
That's all.
Yeah, it is bigger. And it actually has a message if you're going under the speed limit, it says thank you.
Yes, no, we saw.
Yeah.
Brian.
So in chief, your second locations, there you go, it's perfectly finished and so.
Okay, yes. So we're gonna do another one right near Mallard's Landing. So there's a lot of traffic in that area, a lot of people walking, and we get a lot of complaints coming over the hill from Route 3, so. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
thank you.
Our next item is Plan New Hampshire Belmont Charrette Look Back event.
So I was contacted by Tiffany. She is the director of Plan NH, a statewide nonprofit that works to support progressive planning and development across the state. They conducted 2 design charrettes in Belmont in the past, and she states that our charrette in 1996 was the first Plan New Hampshire charrette, and because of that, we are hoping to plan an event in Belmont for July. What we're currently thinking is a walking tour on Belmont to include the mill, site of the first charrette, various village center locations of note from the charrette or otherwise, and the Gale School. Orange Street Architecture is very keen to partner on this event to highlight the Gale School project. We would then end at the TAP Public House for refreshments and networking. So this would be something we could get together. They've done this in Franklin, Littleton, and Bristol. So the dates that they are looking would be, that they threw out would be July 21st, July 22nd, or 29th. So just looking for a date, if you guys have a preference to hold that event.
What days of the week, so close to me?
No, the 21st is a Tuesday, the 22nd is a Wednesday, and the 29th is a Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday.
I mean, who's going to be notified that would participate with us, I guess?
The Plan NH, they're just looking for a date that would we would prefer. And then they'll handle all of that and
They
send out
handle.
invitations.
Okay.
They've also asked that that's my other question, that we reach out to the planning board, and this was well before my time. I've also reached out to Jean to see who was a part of those first two charrettes. Does anyone here on this board know of who was a part of those? She did tell me that Linda Frawley was a part of it, who has sadly passed. Woody Fogg, Chris Fogg, Ron Mitchell, and Wallace Rose were part of it from what she can remember, but if you have any other names that we would like to invite, let me know.
Obviously, there's 2 Wednesdays in there. What time are they planning? What's the time frame? Because obviously, I don't know if there's selectmen's meetings those mornings.
So the 1st and the 15th are selectmen meetings, so those would not interfere with any of our select.
The 22nd is a zoning board meeting at 6 in the evening.
But I think this would be during the day.
They did not give me a time.
It is. Yes, Donna?
We have a point of clarification, like what is the purpose?
It's a look back to say like, oh, this is what we did X amount of years ago. Where are you now?
Okay. I just
We're
don't
here.
realize. I can recall they were a very interesting meeting that no one showed up at, for the most part.
Yeah. All right. I guess, I don't know. Does anybody have a preference for a day? No.
So shall I just say no preference? They
No
can
preference.
plan whatever day they want and we'll accommodate and we can show up.
Plan
we'll show up.
accordingly, and-
Okay. Will do.
Okay. Okay, we have a FEMA violation at 190 Gardner's Grove Road. Interesting. Is that gonna be-
Karen.
Is that gonna be Karen?
Lee.
That's Karen.
Yeah.
Did you look back in the archives on that one? That was an interesting read.
Yeah, that was, Rod has actually had spearheaded the bulk of it, and he's been fantastic with this. But, in a nutshell, in 1991,
91, you say?
1991, building permit was issued for the primary structure on the lot. They had checked off, wasn't in the flood zone, and it went through. Last year, their surveyor decided to submit a letter of amendment to FEMA, flood elevation, openly identifying that the structure was built below the base flood elevation,
Right.
which of course, red flag.
Yeah.
So FEMA had sent a letter back in April of last year. We have been back and forth multiple times with FEMA. They basically FEMA is stating that the homeowner, property owner has to bring the original structure into compliance. The issue being the basement. Technically, it's a crawl space, but their mechanicals are downstairs. So there's a list of requirements to bring the structure up to what they consider their requirements, which would include filling in the basement, moving the mechanicals up to the first floor, and there's a new garage that was built on the site, which would just need floodways installed either in the garage doors or the man doors, or raise the slab a little bit. It's a matter of inches.
I hate that, but I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm a little deaf.
Oh,
I'm
so-
not the only one. I watch a footy too.
Oh.
I hear what you got to say.
Yeah, sorry with the allergies, I'm starting to lose my voice, but now basically their surveyor threw up a red flag in front of FEMA about a structure that was built 30-something years ago, built back in 1991, that it's below the base flood elevation. The issue becomes, and this is where we have been back and forth with FEMA, the maps that were in place and that are still currently in place, there is no specific base flood elevation identified for the town of Belmont. It's approximate. So that is, we have been back and forth multiple times. There's no number. The number that the gentleman submitted to FEMA is from the town of Tilton. Because they had an actual physical number for their base flood elevation.
For as many times as it's flooded, they haven't got that. That's amazing.
But ultimately, a letter was sent to the property owner stating that, you know, they are in violation because we do have floodplain ordinance. Which of course they have not responded, they have failed to respond. The next step that FEMA is basically saying, and it is in our floodplain ordinance, and we have reached out for advice, is that we would have to basically sue the property owner to bring the property into compliance. Because what FEMA is basically threatening, for lack of a better term, is that the town of Belmont would not be eligible for flood insurance for any property.
That we would be.
We would,
That the town of Belmont,
no, nobody be able to get it.
we wouldn't be able to get it. So we would be, the town would be responsible
So
for.
they set the standards, but we're responsible.
Correct.
That's how
Like
it
that
works.
is the
That's how
better-
it is.
that's the better argument for you.
So we are the enforcer.
We are
So
the
they are
enforcer.
saying, you need to enforce, you need to enforce, if you need to sue, sue. And we're saying,
No, more expense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again,
Attorney's fees.
based on, and the issue we're running up against is with, they're starting to talk about the new maps, but they haven't been accepted yet. So even with the new maps that do have a base flood elevation, they haven't been accepted yet. They're not official. We're still using the old maps. So from 1976, I believe it is.
I remember them. Sad, but I do.
So the surveyor,
Opened up a can of worms.
Yes, I did he do this?
well,
Ultimately,
what brought that on? Again,
we don't know. We don't know why. I mean, when you are looking at this and you realize that this is an issue, why would you send it? That's the $1 million question, is why was this letter of map amendment ever sent in? It was a request.
So in theory, if we don't have an updated map from FEMA,
Mhm.
we technically don't have anything to go on. To hold them responsible,
Other than a very vague line on a map that
which
says
is. In the middle,
approximate.
anyway. So we don't need to do anything until they provide us with a map.
Because what do we have, but what do we have for grounds?
That's
to
an
stick with?
accurate.
That's the $1 million question. We do have, we're currently working back and forth. I know they had wanted to meet FEMA and the state representatives. They've been very helpful. Want to meet again. Well, originally it was next week, but I know Alicia had some scheduling conflicts. I had scheduling conflicts. So now we're looking to meet in the month of July to figure out the next step. But FEMA is basically saying, we are the enforcer. And if we don't enforce it, there's a risk of Belmont losing its eligibility for flood insurance.
Which I understand, but we have to have some type of grounds to be able to sue
Do
with.
it.
We're not just gonna throw money at
But
it.
they
We start
set the
money.
standards, so now when they set a standard which they're not living up to.
They even give us a standard that we can even sue with. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
then we sue them and lose them.
We're just attorney fees.
Then
we'll
we-
get attorney fees, included. If we.
Oh, yeah, we bring a lawsuit.
When-
We'll have to-
No, if we lose,
We can't.
we can lose it with no grounds to sue.
Yeah, we're
with
not
no
gonna
grounds
have
to ban.
documentation to prove it.
But then we also do have to go forward as much as we can, because we don't want to lose flood insurance for our residents.
If they are insured.
They are not, and they do not want flood insurance.
Of course not, because they can't afford it. It's expensive.
So we have reached out to legal, they say unfortunately you are the enforcer and you have to do all this wonderful stuff. But she did suggest that we ask how many people even have flood insurance in Belmont, and we had asked the question to FEMA and they're gonna get back to us. 'Cause it might not be worth you even
Right.
caring if nobody has it.
When was the last time we had a major?
So aside from Gardner's Grove,
Are
are there any other flood zones in Belmont that we have an accurate FEMA map for that's updated? That's what they want. Again. No.
There you go. If anybody with their flood insurance.
You can give me the evidence before we can do anything with it. Until we have something to stand on.
And that's we
You gotta
have
have-
repeatedly saying that. What are we supposed to enforce? There's no number.
Hey, tell them they're gonna carry
As you well know,
do it.
Gardner's Grove is under the control of the people that run the dam in Lakeport.
Right.
That floods the lake.
Right.
And
I
then
pulled people out of there during floods in back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, the
It's
government
flooding for
controls
years.
the dam, then it floods Gardner's Grove for one.
Is this a manufactured home that's
No.
just on
No.
Prospect?
This
This
is
is,
a big house.
This is a good size
I wanna
lot.
drive down in there. I did.
And then they put on an addition with a garage with like a bonus room type above. the
You would
bonus.
get a FEMA representative, you can hear me.
Think that you can go to the meeting that they wanna have.
Yes, you're more than
I'd love
welcome.
to have you guys.
As soon as we have a date and time, I can certainly
Oh,
let you know.
they're gonna.
Let me know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
John Grace from
Not
Boston.
a board meeting, but we're having a meeting, yes.
okay.
Oh, I'd love to be there.
Yeah.
So legal's, opinion that I had given you is, unfortunately, this is on the radar, it's likely not to be forgotten. The only way out for the town that she can see is to opt out of the flood insurance program if the requirements are too erroneous. But her first next step is for legal to send a firm letter to the homeowner saying, you've been noticed, you've been asked to fix these deficiencies per FEMA and the requirements, so I have a motion for you to authorize the town attorney to send a letter on our behalf.
I'd like to table that motion until we have a conversation with FEMA, and then we can bring it back. That's what I'd like.
Are you making a motion, Mike?
Yeah, that's my
Well,
motion to table.
well, there was no motion made.
No motion to table
Yeah, just.
until we meet, until we meet with FEMA and find out
Yeah, just take it.
what they're gonna do and when they're gonna provide us with information that we can actually use. Because we've got no legal
But
bearing.
you have no control over the level of the water in that area. That's under the control of the federal government. Not our control, their control. No.
Ruth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm, yes, Woody.
Back when I was director of emergency management, we used to go round and round and round with FEMA. Their maps were notoriously erroneous.
Right, inaccurate.
And they're still the same
Yeah.
apps.
They're still looking at the box.
And the other thing that bears on is, you need to bring it up, you mean with FEMA. The flood control protocol, the whole Winnipesaukee River Basin, the whole watershed has changed because of a stinky wickets on Silver Lake, and we actually got the water level, the actual mean high water level changed. To reflect what it should be versus what it used to be. So that will, or should, change the flood elevation on the FEMA maps as well.
Got it.
So
So what are you doing on that day?
what's that?
Great to have a former emergency management guy from the state of New Hampshire come with us.
You set a date, let me know how
I'll
far
call
you
you.
make it, I will.
Can I call you what?
So you can't go for that.
Okay, so,
Yeah, but
what-
I'm fine with the meeting, so.
okay, I mean, we don't need a formal motion, do we need a formal motion? No, we're not gonna
I
make a
think
motion.
it.
Table it. Okay,
Until.
until we have more. Okay.
Yep.
Send them our way.
Yeah. You're the same reaction we did.
You just can't make this stuff up. Okay, Primex return of surplus unemployment comp and workers' comp.
Yes, every now and then we get a surplus from Primex, which is our insurance carrier for the town. I provided you with the letters of the surplus. They said following the completion of a 2025 financial audit, Primex reported a gain from operations of more than 3.6 million from workers' comp and unemployment compensation programs. As a result, surplus funds will be returned to eligible members who participated in these programs in 2025. Since 2012, Primex has returned more than 86.6 million in surplus to members. This continued return of value reflects the strength of the pool, responsible financial stewardship, and our long-term commitment to maintaining stability while serving New Hampshire public entities. So we have a return of surplus for the unemployment compensation and the workers' comp. And the total of 15,738. Our options will be either to take it as a credit towards our FY 2027 amounts, or receive it as unanticipated revenue to go back to the general fund for 2026. So, two options you may.
If it goes back to the general fund, it can be used for whatever, if we run over
If you
or
were to
we,
earmark it, you could, I don't have something you could earmark it for.
okay.
Why would you consider not using it to offset the bill that's coming up?
That would be in next year's budget.
Choose by.
That would be next year's budget.
Yeah.
And again, because we don't know what what the bill is gonna be next year even.
Correct, we don't get that until the fall.
But it could be 15,000 less.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
it very well could be. Yep. Any comments, any thoughts?
No, just on that point real quick, though, it being into the general fund, we would still have to put it in next year's budget. We could still pull it from the general fund to use it. It's just if we're gonna earmark it now for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how would you like to move forward with that?
And so if you want more time to think about it, we can table it and be nice. Discuss it further.
Yeah, about the road to the general fund.
Who would like to make that motion?
I will.
Didn't hear the whistle.
Motion to designate the primary clearing of surplus as a credit or,
No, down below.
yeah, receive it as an anticipated revenue to go back into the general fund FY 2026 in the amount of $15,730.
38.
$15,138.
7:30.
Do I have a second?
38.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. New Hampshire Humane Society and Chewy.com pet supply donation on community days.
Yes, we received, I think this is maybe our third donation, from the New Hampshire Humane Society, who gets a donation from Chewy.com. Brian donated his time to go up to the Humane Society and get a truckload of food and miscellaneous supplies. So we held our first event on June 16th. We have a event tomorrow, at Town Hall, in the mill, first floor, tomorrow, 7:30 to 9 AM, and then June 19th, 4 to 5:30. If any Belmont residents are in need of, mostly, I think we have, dog food, hard dog food.
Alicia received a letter from a, anonymous, a concerned taxpayer. It's a citizen's complaint. Do you want me to read that letter? Or would like
You
to?
can if you want. I also have Karen here to talk about it. It was anonymous. I just wanted to put it on record that, and we would love to respond to any citizen concerns, but if you don't leave either a phone number, an address, or an email, we have no means to say, hey, we are actually actively investigating your concerns as well. So I do, if you want to read it, you may. I also have Karen here to address the concerns that we can identify. Some of the resident complaint was vague. They didn't, specify a house or a direction, so we kind of had to guess as to what they were guessing, wanting to complain about.
I think it's good to read the letter.
Okay.
Because I think that there's been a lot of, and it's a good in public to be able to address it. And because obviously we're the bad guys.
Right.
We're doing nothing, we're the bad people. This is addressed to Alicia Gibson. I'm writing regarding 2 properties in Belmont that have become significant eyesores and appear to be neglected. The first property is located on Route 140 South, surprise, just after the Welcome to Belmont sign. The condition of this property is extremely concerning. It resembles an abandoned homeless camp and creates a very poor first impression for anyone entering town. Given its prominent location immediately after the welcome sign, I am surprised that the town has not taken action to address the situation. The second property is located on Hurricane Road, heading towards Tilton. On the left-hand side, the siding is coming off the structure and the property appears abandoned and poorly maintained. The surrounding homes are well cared for, which makes this property stand out even more. If left unaddressed, the condition will likely continue to deteriorate. What is frustrating to many residents is the apparent inconsistency in enforcement. Homeowners who are actively trying to improve and maintain their properties often face warnings, fines, and strict oversight, while severely neglected properties remain untouched. This creates understandable concern among taxpayers and residents who take pride in the community. The town has clearly invested effort into improving and beautifying the center of Belmont, and it looks wonderful. However, just outside the center are properties like these that undermine these efforts and negatively impact the image of the town. I appreciate your time in reading this letter and hope the town will take action to address these properties. Residents pay substantial property taxes and expect the town to enforce standards fairly and help maintain the appearance and value of the community. Sincerely, a concerned taxpayer of the town of Belmont.
And I have Karen, what do you
Quickly.
want that?
I would just, I mean, I'm trying to say this as nice as I can. Clearly, they have not watched or seen our meetings, because we've talked about Route 140 1,000 times. We've actually asked if we could move the welcome sign after the property,
No, the town side.
the town sign. yeah.
Town lights on. Karen, please. Obviously, Karen is our planning.
Take on the property on 140, you gotta be aware that the state of New Hampshire granted that property a highway, a garage, driveway permit over the septic pipe that we know is leaking right there at that property with no consideration. And I've taken it up with people that I know with the state, I've been on this for many years in this town. Well done. I mean, no asphalt, no nothing to hold the weight, and they've been. They're not doing anything now, but when they first started, they were hauling, log trucks out of there, right over that porous ground. Over that pipe, they couldn't have been helping it, that's for sure.
Karen,
Well, as you all know, you're familiar with the property located on Route 140. We have been working with the property owner. He is actually working on it. It is extraordinarily slow, and we're going to be continuing to have discussions as he seems to be sorting things, which are making things even worse. So it's a matter of, he is working on it.
Does he need trash bags?
I was thinking of offering him
I'll
some,
bring.
but again, he's working by himself and has created a rather large mess. We are definitely working with him. We are not ignoring the problem. And I drive by it every day on my way to work. It is a mess. Again, as far as enforcement, you should have a copy of an email that I did send to Alicia in response to this. It is difficult because we don't have a lot of teeth when it comes to a situation like this. The junkyard ordinance does not truly apply by state definition. We don't have a property maintenance code in place. The zoning ordinance doesn't address this. And even the solid waste ordinance is the barrels and the curbside pickup, not individual properties condition. So we can keep kind of pushing and pushing, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of teeth to really enforce anything without any kind of property maintenance or, any kind of code. Because of course, as soon as you say property maintenance code, the first reaction is, well, you're not going to tell me how tall my grass can be. So I know it's been back and forth in years past, but again, it's difficult. From our perspective, we want to have something to enforce, and we can encourage property owners. And as you know, we've had issues with former junkyards that met the junkyard ordinance definition of a junkyard that are no longer licensed. That's where we can apply it. In this case, it does not meet the definition. So the junkyard
the
ordinance.
other thing that's been unfortunate is that most residents don't understand. Obviously, we can use the junkyard on 140 that we've been to court time and
And time,
time. I've sat in that courtroom many, many times. And it's brutal. It's just, you can't, no matter what you do. And this gentleman, this person has stopped us many, many times with an injunction. And then the only way we can continue on, go back to court again. It's just really, really difficult. We could have a line in our budget for attorney fees that would be astronomical if we, because we could be in court every week trying to get, and we get nowhere.
If we just buy fences, it might be cheap.
It's sad, but it's not from lack of trying, even though everyone wants to throw us under the bus and say that we're not doing our job. But it's just,
Yeah, it's definitely not for lack of effort.
it's not for lack of effort. It's really sad going into court. And I think if anybody has been set in any court cases lately, they understand where our frustration is. It's
And maybe it's time in our next spring voting that we put an ordinance on the books. Put some teeth into the biting, so we can just say, these things aren't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
You needed so much for that
but the
fast.
problem is, that's where
That's tough.
we have a certain amount of regulations and we still can't get anything done. And then people complain we over-regulate or we're
Correct.
over whatever. It's a battle.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of, there's no right answer.
No.
Then the other issue you had mentioned was that.
Yeah, the-
Eyesore is the
We believe it's
stumpage, which is.
stumpage,
natural
it's natural
and we can't
materials.
Natural material.
Regulate that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It's gonna sit there till it
So it
rots.
becomes part, yeah.
Because both maybe they cut it face down and leave them down and put the brush in the back. Of our 90 or 80.
They gotta take the stumps and put the truck on there.
They just get
But it's not,
far.
but again, it's not,
Throwing it
you know,
in.
right, it's a, pay to have them hauled to this, yeah, and that's not cheap.
Push them further back now. He had an excavator in there last week before.
He had some small equipment. At one point in time, there were,
Way out.
yeah, there were actually animals on the property at one point in time and they had been removed.
Yeah.
So they are no longer there. He's actually using the pen, for lack of a better term, as a kind of a shed to lock up some, well, that too. Just, and really quickly, the second property, we didn't have an address, but we believe they're referring to the property that's located on Hurricane Road. If it is the one that the individual is referring to, there had been some siding that had blown off the house. It's been picked up, it's been placed on the porch. There's actually a demolition permit for that property. It's in the process of being demolished. I believe they're working on asbestos abatement. So it's just, but there is an active demolition permit.
I think the other thing with a letter like this is we can all ride around town and pick things apart. And I think a lot of times people feel if their property doesn't look the best, it keeps their assessments down and their property. I hear that. I mean, that's just, it's,
You can use this letter, just change the road.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
over.
And use it.
Yeah. So, thank you. I guess we addressed that. Okay. 2026 Belmont Good Citizen Award winner.
Yes, this year's award winner is Riley DeGrange. DeGange. There's no R, DeGange.
So, they will have, I assume that person will be in the parade for Open Day.
Yes, she has said that she was available and the scholarship amount that she will get is $500.
Awesome.
She is also, I wanted to mention that she was, a student member of the Heritage Commission. And she just graduated, so.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Under new business, the new library director announcement.
Yes, the library trustees have voted to promote Tricia Sturm as the new library director for the.
So she's already employed.
She was a part-time employee And she applies to the position and they promote her.
Was she the one that was filling in?
No,
No. Awesome. Good. Park and beach bathroom request consideration to open.
yes, I had received an email from a citizen requesting consideration to open the beach bathroom. He said with many days above 70 degrees and families using the park and beach, the lack of restrooms has been inconvenient and disappointing. Could you please look at opening the facilities as soon as possible for the remainder of the season? So at the beach, we do have a handicap accessible porta potty that has been in place since Labor Day, Memorial Day, and will be up until Labor Day. So we do have facilities open 24/7. When the Parks and Rec Department do go to the beach, the facilities are open. And when there are lifeguards on duty, the facilities are open. The reason why the board has not opened the facilities basically on a town operating hours, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, is due to vandalism. Last year, we had to call in Rouse because somebody had stuffed diapers down the toilet, so we had to have Rouse come in and fix that. We do have issues with graffiti. We have issues with the homeless breaking in and opening the doors. So it has been an issue out of our control as to why we do it, and it's very costly. So same with the park.
I think we had, what was it, last year that the park had, or somebody broke in?
Somebody broke in the door at the park. We've had the water bubbler kicked over and broken. Certainly, if you want to try again, we can have, building ground.
Yeah, we put porta potty in there last year, correct?
At the park.
No, at the beach.
The beach has one and has one now. We
So-
did that in the last, I think, 2 years, or we have 2 or 3 years we've had. You could put a porta potty at the park as well, or try to reopen it and see how it goes this year.
Have-
To you guys.
Having been the only member of this board or boards before it. Sonny Patton and I cleaned that beach for a whole season. We raked it, we covered it every day. We cleaned the toilets. We didn't think we'd have been better to not put toilets when we did that. Beach and put stand up. Your portable toilets rather, because when they close that door, what's gonna happen? You can't imagine the mess and what they do. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. And
Unfortunately.
we did it, we just thinking we're gonna help because we needed somebody to pick up the beach every day and rake the things, pick up some cans maybe, and it was. Sonny and I did it for the season, but no money and nothing in this town, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I would do it again for $5,000.
That's the
They
thing.
people are just horrific, the diapers, the condoms, this mess that they throw aside.
I would
Yeah.
love to open it. The problem is we have one damage, we can't afford it. So we made our budget so tight here just to pass it that I couldn't see us getting Rouse in there again and being able to afford it to keep
I
paying
don't
for
know
it.
how we can open it. If you had to open it, you're better off to go with the porta potties, leave that shut.
And unfortunately, the location of that beach is so open to many people outside of Belmont, and without us having a gatekeeper this year, we have no control over the Belmont residents going there. Anyone go there and destroy that bathhouse, and our residents are on the hook for it.
And they also have just vandalized the porta potties as well.
Oh, I'm sure that's.
I think one of the things that is where these people write letters like this is because they don't know, because they don't see. If they saw the vandalism and the things that happened there and the things that the employees or John and Sunny found when they went in there. If they literally saw a picture of this and said, this is what it looked like when we came here this morning, or this is what was broke, but this is how much we spent. Maybe their outrage would be, they would understand where we're coming from when we say the porta potties are the cheapest way to go and we'd like to do this, but.
I mean, our grounds crew is over there every morning. Every morning, they go to that beach and they rake it and pick up stuff, everything. And that's an expense to the taxpayers, and Now, again, with no gatekeeper, not that it matters, because people are gonna go in there at night anyways, but, it's costing us a lot of money at this point to have the beach, to keep it open and whatever, it's.
And with the wild trail there, anyone, especially from, I saw on our Facebook community page that people from Laconia literally said they walked the wild trail to our beach. Like, they don't,
And the way that and someone had mentioned, I don't know if it was Facebook or wherever, to put a gate, and the way the beach road is, you really
Yeah.
can't put a gate there to
You
keep
ain't
people
gonna
out.
stop if they walk.
Exactly, they just walk down from the trail
wild trail.
as well.
Yes, sir.
We don't have the capabilities of putting a camera there.
They don't have the money.
Mention something about another location, you have a camera,
Well, it's in our radar,
so anyway, but just. We don't have that capabilities to put it there because it sounds like the vandals win and the, you know, people that are actually using it, you know.
we have cameras, that.
Sure, I was there on a Sunday morning and I watched this lady come in and park her car and take a whole bunch of rubber things that she played with with the kids. She has some kids. And I said, oh, and I'm looking for the Belmont beach sticker on a car. And so she says, no, I'm Guilford, but that beach is too crowded, and this one, nobody goes here. And I said, what do you want all these things out here on the parking lot? She says, my friends from Guilford are coming over here. Because you don't have anybody that watches it. Well, she didn't stay long, but she was there for a few minutes.
A camera, right now, a camera would be expensive for us, but I don't think a camera would capture enough that we could even prosecute with the driving recoup costs. Or visual deterrence, and these kids nowadays aren't scared of cameras.
No,
And any kids, I mean, they're living behind Shaw's, there's,
Oh, even the diaper, that was.
Right, and that's,
Was
That's right.
a parent
Good.
who did that, put it down the toilet.
it's, yeah.
Maybe at some point, we can-
Close it then.
Well, the problem is,
Buildings.
there is no closing because they're gonna walk, people can walk to that beach.
I mean, it's.
We only have lifeguards when our park and rec are there now, because budget wise, no one wants to be a gatekeeper, or did we take that out?
Took it out.
Did take it out.
Took it out.
We couldn't find anyone because people are just, so,
and technically, legally, by our definition, the beach is closed
Yes.
technically. Legally. For our legal standings, we have to say it's closed.
everything we do down there, or anything that we try to do, gets destroyed. I mean, it's just people are, and
Okay, so they
2 years ago, they set the lifeguard stands on fire. It was set that on fire in one of the gazebos, I think, too, a couple of years back.
Wasn't talking, good training down there.
Sounds like.
Not
So
saying you're not
we
sorry,
can't,
so it's just being
You
funny.
can't be down there all the time, a lot of
No.
that happens after hours.
well, we tried to kick a man out actually behind Shaw's. And this guy was here every year for about 4 or 5 years. He built himself cabin out of crates, out of pallets. And he's on the lake side of the railroad tracks. That's no man's land. And he stays there in the summer. Lives in it. There's no bathroom or anything. And he walks to Laconia. And when it comes Labor Day, he's gone. He goes back to Florida where he's got the same thing. Because of the no man land, they couldn't touch him. In that gray area, but the bottom line is this down, you can't see it. It's not like going by where it's flat and you're going by on the highway and you can see people at the beach. It's a great thing to have, and I'm glad we have it. But if you really did it right, we don't have it in the budget to really maintain and have people there. Because it could be a lot more than it is. It really should be too, because it has the capabilities of it. But you can't, because we don't have the money. I mean, you just can't inspire money when we can't afford it.
okay, any other under new business? Well,
Do you
I'm
wanna make a decision on either open it, close it, or get a porta potty for?
By there, isn't it?
There's
At
four
at
of
the
them.
beach, but not the,
So I would make the motion to not open the bathrooms at the beach during the month.
Well,
Well, the park,
The park,
Say that again.
what are we talking about?
I think,
you can have park.
well, it's two different things. I think that, because you're looking at hours, it would only be open when town hall is in operation. So, I mean, the park is right there, the police station is right there, so. And I don't think that vandalism, well, I can't speak to that,
well,
but,
it would be town hall operation hours, because that's gonna have enough staff to open them and lock them
Right.
at both locations, so.
right, but I think I would do it at the park because it's more visibility than the beach when it's not.
I think it, Porta Private Park is a horrible idea. Have you seen the children that go there?
Yeah.
I take my kids there and I take my kids out when those hood rat kids come, so I think it's a bad idea. That'd be pushed over the first day I went there.
I had no issue opening the bathrooms, I think try to open them at Sergeant, but I don't wanna open them at Leslie.
No,
No, I don't, I think the
No.
porta john at the beach is what it is.
There's more eyes on Sergeant Park than there is Leslie.
oh, yeah.
So the motion is to not open the beach bathrooms, but to open the park bathrooms during town hall operating hours.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none.
So can I just ask a
Yeah.
question? So who's opening them and who's closing them? Obviously
Well, that will be,
Slackers.
Yep, that would be the building and grounds, we can ask that of them.
and that will be during business, during their hours. Their hours of their employee, not paying overtime or, right.
You
We're
know,
not paying
everybody-
overtime or anything like that. It's, I don't even know what time, 7 to 4, whatever.
So it would be,
Whatever, eight
we
to,
can establish the hours.
right,
So internally, that will
Right.
be
Yeah.
that's right.
organized so that the
Yeah.
finger pointing doesn't start
Right.
and it's
I don't think it-
consistently operated the way.
I mean, when does Park and Rec use the park? What's the hours that it might use the park?
I had the schedule.
Call Ella, she can tell you, she's got a job
Oh,
there.
all right. I'm just saying, because obviously it doesn't, the bathrooms don't need to be open at 7 o'clock in the morning, I wouldn't think it.
And they don't open, they don't start camp till 8. They don't open camp till
Kansas City.
8:30 is when they actually start doing stuff.
We can have discussions that when it would fit into the rounds, and then we can make a public announcement as
Right.
to when the bathroom could be
So,
open.
There you go. That's a good way to solve
Yeah, to be determined.
it. Good, okay. All business, building and grounds, part-time summer labor, new hire.
Sorry, we have other
Okay,
business.
I'm trying to move.
Motion.
Okay, no.
Motion second.
Two.
I had a request from someone to submit a late veterans credit and a late elderly exemption application. The due date is April 15th. She said she didn't submit April 15th because she didn't even know that these options existed until last week. The board could accept by law a late application for a very specific, like accident, misfortune, etc. Typically, those would be things like medical emergencies, natural disasters, problems with the mail, and it would usually be within like a week or two, not a couple months later. So she did not submit an application. She wanted me to ask the board if they would even consider entertaining a late application. I would suggest that considering something this late, because she wasn't aware of it, doesn't really fit the emergency type of a situation. And that if we did this, it would really be unfair to all the other people that have been turned away the last few months. And it would open up that time period to not have.
A time period.
But she wanted me to specifically ask the board if they would consider something like that, or if it's too late for a late application. It could set,
Good luck next year.
Kind of open Pandora's box.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, you know.
We're gonna open a door that we can't close.
Right, if you open it for one, you have to open it for everyone, and there's gotta be a cutoff, the date is the date, unfortunately.
That's the state law, the date is set in state law, the application.
All right, I think that that's,
We turn people away already, so.
Yeah.
Could be,
now can I go to?
Just on the Gale School, they just did want to RSVP, so I don't know if any of you do plan on attending, if you would like me to RSVP for you.
During work hours.
Hmm?
It's during work hours.
The
30th.
30th at 11 a.m.
ribbon cutting is at 11 a.m. and then they're having an open house. I really work.
Who's
Five
going to
invitations,
school?
so I already RSVP.
You
No,
have,
I think, yeah.
I already did, it, like, on the five, right?
Canterbury Elementary.
I would plan to go, it just depends, I have a, that scheduled that day, and I don't know, I won't know what the
You're
day
gonna be
before.
hands fields then.
Huh?
You're gonna be haying fields.
Hopefully it's under rate. So I will say,
no,
I'll say yes, but again, I can't definitely confirm.
John, how about you? Yay or nay?
Going to River Cut?
No.
And Mark? Okay. Great, thank you. That's all I have for other.
Okay, now can I go to old business?
You may.
Building and grounds, part-time summer labor, new hire. Michael Liberty,
Yes, so he is our part-time summer labor for the summer. We also have filled the position of the DPW truck driver laborer, that is Christopher. And then we also filled the building and grounds laborer new hire, which is Michael McNamara.
so that's filling,
Kyle.
Kyle's, because Kyle's moving up, got it. And this is, this truck driver is, CDL, I assume. Regular,
Comes with 5 years of experience.
Yeah.
Already has his commercial license, works for a municipality now, just trying to get closer.
Yeah.
Closer to home.
Awesome.
Now, does this one bring you back to full?
This one brings us back.
Decommission DPW grant truck update.
Well, it's just a little heads up, I'm not even gonna get up there and, we've been through this before. Had DES come to the shop on Tuesday. They witnessed the frame being cut and they witnessed the hole being drilled into the block.
Yeah.
We signed off on everything and, we'll be working hopefully tomorrow between Alicia and I, we can get everything ready to submit, for the reimbursement.
Awesome.
So once we get that submitted, everything certified, we'll ask you to accept the $200,000-ish
Awesome.
from the Grant State Green Police program.
Good. Awesome. Great. Good job.
That's your second truck, right?
That's our
Yeah.
second.
That's the second. Yeah.
We are gonna ask if it's okay for us to put that on the municipal auction site again. They don't bring much more than scrap in the condition that they are, but there are companies that will buy the truck, they'll come get it and then they'll part it out. The last one brought like $850, I think.
We don't need it sitting around.
It doesn't do us any good, there's no parts off of it. They're good for anything, so if it's okay with you guys, I would like to get that on the municipal auction block. We'll do the truck frame, cabin chassis
Yeah.
as one item and the body as another item.
I don't think anybody has any problem with that.
Absolutely not.
Sooner you get rid of it, the better.
Frame's got holes drilled, can't do anything with it.
No.
anyways.
They've done their service.
Yes, it has.
I'll make a motion to approve and to move forward with the auction of the decommissioned DPW grant truck by a municipal.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Northern Borders Regional Commission Grant, Route 140 Sewer Main, $2 million award.
Backing up to the grants.
Oh, grants.
Donnie did also bring with him, as Fred had asked a few meetings ago, for signage to be placed on the 3 trucks that we did receive for grants. So these are the banners that we have produced. This is probably Donnie's that will go on the fire truck once we get it. So they'll be on display whenever we have the trucks idle, or sitting at, Old Home Day or National Night Out or Touch Truck or any
That's
place
great.
where we wanna show up, the grant funding.
It's been an awesome way to see us.
Come on, Dana.
So we got.
So we had one truck at 80%, one truck at 60, and one truck at 70, and they all say the different
The
percentages.
different percentages on them, awesome.
Good.
Some people don't take a picture.
Smile, Brian.
So,
So basically, we received 3 vehicles through this.
Well, I don't know when Chief's gonna get his.
No.
It's coming this summer, right?
In the fall.
In the
Okay.
fall, awesome.
so between,
I say roughly we've done,
almost $1 million, so it was 5,
yeah.
200, and then 260 or over 2,
Yeah,
the first one.
Yeah, the first one that was 80% was like 220. The second one was only 70% and the price went up a little bit, so that pushed it. I think it's 197 and some change. And then the chief knocked it out of the park. He
At
maxed
500.
the grant out at 500,000, so.
Awesome.
Go, Don.
That was.
He said, watch this and
And that was, I believe that was the first fire truck that they even granted through that program, yes?
It wasn't the first.
Oh, it
but
wasn't?
one.
One of the first, there was very few.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
hard for a fire department truck that old.
only Phil. Awesome, great job, guys.
well,
Okay,
thank you to Colleen and Alicia for helping put that together.
yeah, nice. Okay, Northern Borders Regional Commission Grant, Route 140 Sewer Force Main, $2 million award.
Yes, we were notified this week that the grant that DES put in on our behalf for the Northern Borders grant to go towards the Route 140 Force Main was approved for $2 million. It was the largest, it was the max they could ask for, and that was, I think, the max that was given to one entity. The good thing is it's not our grant, so we don't have to go to town for approval of that $2 million. It's DES's grant on our behalf, so. Sharon McMillan did a great job on the grant. The Northern Borders said there was very little, you submit the grant and say, well, I need this, I need that, you need to change this, and they said that her grant was phenomenal. There was only a few changes that they need to come back with. So.
Did she submit this on phase 1 or for the whole thing?
It is for construction only.
Phase 1 or the whole thing?
Well, it'll get used up in
Yeah.
phase 1.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to see if they tried to hit us with the whole thing at one time now, or if they are still partying to us.
So they have already gotten the bond approval for the whole thing. Now they won't need to bond out the full 10. I'm just gonna say 10, as that was what it was originally. So now they have the authority to bond from the state, the 10. Now we have the 2, so they're gonna reduce that. And then, obviously it's in 2 phases, so we'll just be, I don't know if how they're gonna take that funding. They have approval for the bond.
Bond,
No,
okay.
they have
Oh, you've already got
so
me
they-
paying on it.
So they, I think it works with well, you probably.
I don't think it's
know,
exactly
they-
council that much.
They ask for, we need this much, they have the approval for that much, but they won't have to take that much, now
Right.
that they've got this grant, and if we decide to apply for any other grants to go towards this. But the best thing is that we don't have to go to the voters, because it's not technically our grant, it's the state's grant on our behalf, so that's a plus. Not the risk losing $2 million, because we've lost grant funding in the past when it came to water and sewer projects.
Yeah, a lot.
So which area is this covering?
140.
No, the whole thing?
The-
Oh, the coal plant and off. But from the pump station out to the Hilton down line?
Yes, but they've agreed to phase it. So
That's short section?
Yeah, the cross section will be the second phase. The first phase will be from Tilton to
Yeah.
the cross country, right?
Phase 1 is from the pump station to right around Rattler somewhere.
Yeah.
down there. And that gets us out of the trouble.
Yeah,
Area.
we don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, the rest of the
No.
like,
There's some negatives, though.
But they still claim that has to be replaced, because they didn't go along with our engineering.
But they scares a big scare right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But again, yeah. We still have to pay the bill. Well, the ratepayers have to pay the bill, unfortunately, but now there's 2 million knocked off in it.
It helps.
Yep, not pretty. So there's nothing we have to do with that, it's just information.
Just information.
Any other old business?
You have anything else?
No.
Can we just quickly discuss our schedule so I can get clarification on what our plans are?
Oh, yes, you're right.
Okay,
The request for the daytime, summer schedule.
right. Okay,
Actually, with anybody's saying, so it don't matter.
now we're discussing our summer schedule.
That'd be good to know. Sit back over here. This school looking that way,
Sorry.
Summer,
you know?
summer schedule.
I know how I felt when I said everything. You said, here, you talk this way.
So our next meeting is scheduled for when?
July 1st, and then your second meeting would be July 15th, which would be a night meeting.
Okay,
It was requested to have for the months of June and July, day meetings only. So for July, the consideration would be, would the board be okay with having July 15th as a day meeting?
I'm fine with that.
Look, I mean, what was the reason for the request? Like, it was 3 months ago, we all agreed on one meeting in the morning, one meeting at night, and now 3 months later, it's being changed.
I don't know about anybody else, but my evenings are busy during July and August. I prefer morning meetings. I like to be out there.
Personally, like, I actually need them to be both at night because I have a 12-year-old who can't stay home alone, who is now out of school. And I have someone who can watch him at night, and during the day, I don't. And it's going to cost me about $50 to put him in a babysitter to come to this meeting. Or to have somebody to watch him, so this is not it's not good for me to do this.
So you prefer night meetings, July 1st and 15th?
Well, I can still do I can do the day one and, cause I'm willing to put him into the daycare for that one day. But I can't do both, that's $100 a month for,
How busy is our schedule? And again, you can't answer that right now.
Yeah.
and you know, he does
And
come
my-
in here, but if we have a non-public, if we have a non-public after the day meeting, then he has to be, you know, even, and I'm just not willing to do that to him.
And my push on this is I was obviously the one pushing for all our meetings to be at night. We're the only town that doesn't have night meetings. And I've settled down with the 1-on-1. I think is a good split with having our department heads for the most part, that we have to work with them coming in our morning meetings. We handle other business at night. I just don't want, I have no issue with it being a one-time thing or whatever it has to be. I don't want it to become our normal, because 2024, when the voters came out, 75% of them want us to have meetings after 4 o'clock. And I think we've gotten to a point that we passed the budget by 6 votes. I don't want to rock that boat too much.
Mark? John?
I like 1-on-1, but, you gotta go in the flow, I mean,
So we'll
I-
keep it as is.
agree with Travis.
Yeah.
1-on-1.
We'll keep it as is then. Okay. Any other old business?
I do not.
Any public comment?
I appreciate the 1-on-1 meetings.
All right.
I have a couple things.
Alright.
So I have 2 things. One of them is a request. Mr. Donovan is a member of the Heritage Commission, and he would like permission to go up there on July 4th and ring the bell. He remembered it for the 250th, I believe, so that.
There's a bell there still?
There's a bell up there and it works, yes.
We
And
ran
he-
it, I believe, on our birthday,
Yes.
a couple years ago.
And so Jack would like he nominates himself to have the ability to go up there and ring the bell.
Is it safe for him to go up?
I got no idea.
Is the building structurally sound to be up there?
Catch me up there, it's too hot.
Have to get him a waiver.
I
All right, let me bring the agenda.
have no idea how you even get up there. I'm
I
sure
don't know.
somebody knows.
You're ringing from the floor below.
So
Top below?
What falls on your head?
Top of the stairs,
Oh,
that's where the rope is.
oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, you don't go to the bell.
Somebody hitting his head.
And how about?
I don't know. Maybe back in the day, they did.
Yeah, back in the day, they did.
And they were usually kids that jumped.
Jake, there were horses too.
I don't have a problem with that.
Wish as long as-
When is he gonna ring me? No.
Well, the text message I got is gonna be on July 4th, and he was gonna let me know when he was available for somebody to let him in. So
Oh,
as long as he has permission to do that, the rest of it,
probably
I
should
can
be
work
before
out.
11 night, or we'll get complaints.
well, he does a lot of work at, Pavilion, so he's usually not late at night. And then the other thing is just a shout out to somebody I saw. There was a gentleman on Friday who picked up all the litter on 140 from Main Street all the way to South Road. Picked it up, put it in the blue bags and tied it. And I do believe it did get picked up. However, I think he was back out there today because there's 2 brand new roll bags. So shout out to him because it was very hot that day. People were taking in water. Someone had said, hey, he's down here doing this. And as someone who's done that a lot, I so appreciate him because that's a very hard hit area with litter. So I just wanna, I don't know who he
did
is.
the whole downtown area. He's a retiree from Heritage Terrace. Aaron and I ran into him in the parking lot at the store. We were checking out the situation and he was cleaning up garbage and I let him know that we have blue bags available. And he was over the moon excited to be able to have blue bags to be able to use. And he was talking about, having to bring the garbage back and stuff. And I said, well, if you use one of these blue bags and you're picking up roadside litter, you just let us know when you've got a bag full on the side of the road and Brian's guys will go through and collect it.
Well, there's 2 down by Walkers, by Pikes. Yeah. See him and they're still there at the state, don't pick him up. Yes, he did such a good job. So shout out to him.
We'll get different stickers with the same team.
There you go.
So that's like that.
Okay,
Thank you.
do we have, oh, here we go. We're not done yet. There's a back to this page, guys. Okay, Board of Selectmen, future agenda items. Does anyone have any future
Yeah, sorry.
agenda items?
No.
No, okay. Any reports from any boards or committees?
No, I wasn't able to attend the last conservation.
Okay, our next meeting is July 1st at 10 o'clock in the morning. Do we have non-public tonight?
Yes.
Okay, we will be going into non-public on 91-A, colon 3, Roman numeral 2, letter C. Okay, roll call.
On place, guys,
Ready?
I will. If no one did, I will.